your weather is like there, but let's get this broadcast started by saying if you're a replay viewer, feel free to hit the hashtag replay so I know that you're watching, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button, whatever channel you're watching on. We are on multicasting on 9 platforms right now. So super excited to have you guys here. I appreciate I appreciate all of you guys checking in. Now, tonight's broadcast is why is it taboo to say all lives matter? Now we know that gets a little tricky for people. We're trying to understand, each culture, each person, and where they're coming from, and yet we have to have a conversation, right? We have to identify that. Hey, whoever that is that just said hi, Vicky, hello there. If you are coming in from one of our Facebook groups, you need to put your name in there, or you have to give permission to the HAPS app in order to tell me who it is. Otherwise, it just says Facebook user. So, welcome to the broadcast. I appreciate you guys being there. And if you do me a favor, make sure you hit the share button. Make sure you're subscribed to my notifications. You guys know I've been in the schnitzel box. That our good old FB doesn't like me so much right now. Conservatives are. If you don't think conservatives are actually being muted. We'll use the word muted. Hey, Tampa. Hey, Retta. Welcome to the broadcast. I haven't talked to you for so long. I haven't seen you. And we're about to lose our Periscope connection there pretty soon. So hopefully you're following me here. And if you have a channel, drop yours in there as well so I can make sure to do that. Ed, welcome to the broadcast, Ed. So we, again, I've been in the schnitzel box a lot lately. We've been kind of tempered down, but we got to talk about this topic, which I know already because of the hashtags I used. I'll probably be censored across all platforms. But if you're watching right now, then you have the chance to hit that share button or at least have a conversation. It's great to see you too. You've been here for a couple months. Welcome. Thank you. I was using, well, I won't say what the other one was, but I was using another broadcasting software and just moved over here. Let's see. It's not taboo in my mind. I am a Christian. All lives have always mattered. Humans matter. All humans matter. I even care about animals. You know what? I absolutely agree with that as well. And all lives do matter, right? And that's the important part. And again, whoever just put miss you, love ya, I'm sure I love you right back, but I don't know who it is. If you're coming in from a Facebook group, if you don't give permission to the app, then alls I can see is Facebook user. So I can, you could be all the same one. That is awesome. And we have been friends for, I don't know how many years now, 5, 6 years, whenever we started back on Periscope. And I'm glad that we're reconnecting. And I appreciate that. I will definitely subscribe to you when I'm done. I've been trying to connect with all of our friends here on the platform. So again, whether you guys are on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform you're on, Twitter, Periscope, please hit the subscribe button. Come over here if you don't know to the HAPS app and go to. I'll drop something in the chat box here for those of you who are here. I know there's other of you hanging out, but you're not chit chatting with me, so I'm just going to put that in there. So if you don't have, if you're not in the HAPS app where you can see all the conversation, please jump in here and let us know. Clout9 that just subscribed. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Vanessa, welcome. Hey, how are you, sweetie? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Carl, welcome to the broadcast as well. So again, hit the share button. Let's dive into why is it taboo to say all lives matter. Now, and I'd love to hear your opinion. If you guys are new to my broadcast, then we have conversations here. We don't expect you to conform your thinking to ours, but we want to have a constructive conversation. We also don't expect you to be a troll. If you are, we'll do a little troll patrol, but we always try to treat you with dignity and respect. Michael Morrell, welcome to the broadcast. You're not even known each other since we were 10 years old. There you go. Clout9, welcome again. Appreciate you guys. So all lives matter. If you guys have heard, like we've talked about this maybe about 6 or 7 months ago during some of the heyday of what was going on during the summer and the Black Lives, the BLM. And we will talk a little bit about BLM too, because there is a lot of confusion and most people are very afraid to have the conversation that BLM as an organization is actually a problem. They are not out for supporting the black, the concept of Black Lives Matter. They make a tremendous amount of money and they don't seem to use it on any programs or funding for the Black community. The concept, like I said, Black Lives Matter is incredibly important, right? Black lives do matter. But do we want to continue on segregating people? Now, I mean, put a 1 in the chat box if you guys saw the other day that there is I don't remember which college, I'll have to pull it up, is actually having separate graduations for each group. They're having a Black graduation, they're having a white graduation, they're having an Asian graduation. Now, have we not, am I crazy, or have we not been trying to blend people together. Why are we segregating? Why are we doing that? Even if people are asking to do that, are we not creating sects and little cliques of people that are not going to be part of a community? Why are we doing that? Let me see if you guys have some conversations. Let's see. Vanessa, welcome, sweetie. It's good to see you, and thanks for subscribing. Oh, did somebody wrote, according to this, somebody wrote something yucky, or if you wrote something that might have been conceived as yucky, it says it was spam or vulgar. Like, do we have a troll here? Cloud Daddy says it's a little oppressive. Cloud Daddy, help me understand. Are you saying all lives matter is oppressive, or what? Try and help me clarify there. A super hard. Thank you, Retta. I appreciate you. I just said to you on Haps, excellent, Vanessa. I will definitely I'll subscribe to you guys when I'm done. Whoever just put a 1 in, Facebook user, I'm not sure who it is. Not all lives have been suppressed. Okay, so Red Chris, but that's not what we're talking about, right? So when we use a term, all lives matter, it doesn't mean that one type of life matters more or less. I mean, but let me ask you this question, like removing the taboo phrase of all lives matter, which kind of got blended in there with when Black Lives Matter started, that saying all lives matter was somehow an insult to another community. Tell me what is offensive about just the concept all lives matter, right? And let's skip the word all and just say lives matter, right? Lives matter, people's lives matter, right? I mean, animal lives matter too, but we do, as we're going to talk about humans right now, that lives matter. And why are we predicating it by a color of our skin? I'm completely supportive of everyone being part of a community. I know that there has been, um, there's been repression in the past. I know that there's even people that are racist, and I think it's sad. And I think the best way for us to continue working on it is to call people out on the racism, but without insulting them, being rude or disrespectful. We don't have to attack people to have a conversation. Let's see. So, Red Chris, so not all lives have been suppressed. I agree. So, help me understand what part about lives matter or all lives matter, because I think they do independently do matter. Michael said it's not taboo. All lives have always mattered. Vic, don't you think it's pretty neat that most of the people that we went to school with in the 80s are pretty close in agreement on this subject? It is because of the area we grew up in. I really don't know. I would say that we were all, I mean, I we were all friends. I mean, I think that's great. And I think there's different areas of people that, I think, we're here in Southern California, and I haven't seen much racism in my lifetime. I'm not saying it's not there. I see it in different, like I've seen it on TV, meaning I've seen it expressed in movies and different stuff like that. I haven't personally experienced it. It doesn't mean I don't believe it's true. It means I haven't personally experienced it. And so when I have, sometimes what we do see, as you guys know, we've seen things where people are claiming that they're being oppressed. And then you find out from watching the entire video through the police officer or someone else that they were just trying to play that angle. So what it does is dilute the message from people that really are experiencing things. So Clout Daddy saying BLM. Let's see. So you're not, I don't know if you're expressing something from before. I'm trying to keep, the people that are new to the broadcast, I'm trying to make sure I keep your comments safe. So Red Chris said not all lives have been suppressed, and Clout Daddy, you're identifying BLM. Help me understand what that's in reference to, because of course we're having a long conversation with reviewing comments and having talk. So help me understand what I addressed about BLM. Carl says, I think when we say all lives matter, it assumes that all lives are treated equal now when there is still injustice to other races. Okay, so Carl, I agree that there probably is some. Like I said, I mean, we know that there is, but we also, like I had explained before, if you guys are new to my broadcast, hey Candy, welcome. If you're new to my broadcast, my son went to a small private school, and he was actually the only white kid in the school. And they called him names, they called him cracker, they called him different things. Even though they all got along, they were still calling him names, and it was really confusing for him to try and identify why people are calling him names. So in that particular regard, right, he felt very uncomfortable and felt like he wasn't accepted or connected because of the color of his skin. So I think that there is still oppression. I think there is still different things that happen at different times, but if we collectively as a society continue trying to help people understand and trying to help bridge the gap instead of segregating, when we start taking things and making, hey Joanne, welcome, when we start taking things and we're separating graduations by the color of your skin or by your race, I think that's weird. I mean, so me and my Asian friends, black friends, Italian friends, Hispanic friends, what, we can't sit together because now we're doing different graduations? It doesn't make sense to me. um and it's a hard topic. Cloud nine, it is a hard topic, right? And that, but you know, white people, this is the truth. White people are afraid to have this conversation because they don't want to get attacked. And that's why we use this platform, or I, you know, my fans and my followers and my friends. And then we know some new people will come in too and see that we're trying to have a conversation. I'm not trying to shove anything down anyone's throat, but I don't think I don't think, and like I said, somebody needs to help me understand. I don't think saying that all lives matter, because I believe Black lives matter 100%. I believe white lives matter. I believe Asian lives matter, and Hispanic lives matter, and trans lives matter, and and female lives and male lives. I think they all matter. And so I hate putting a modifier in front of that. And I think it became taboo because Black Lives Matter as the organization kind of commandeered it and then somehow convinced us that that understanding or believing that all lives matter was in some way, shape, or form saying that the Black lives don't matter, or they matter less because we matter too. And it just seems like a social construct that was created, because I know I don't feel that way, and I know the people that I spend time with don't feel that way either. I know I'm getting behind on some of your comments. Let me go back over here. um a Facebook user, I don't know which one, says, or how about this, all Black lives matter, even the unborn. I'm not sure if that was you, Ed. But yeah, I believe all Black lives matter, and I certainly believe the unborn matter as well. And that's probably a topic for another broadcast, but you know, we can certainly touch on it here too. Candy, it's so great to see you. Joanne, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you too. Oh, super hearts. You guys are awesome. I will definitely, if I haven't subscribed to you, I will go back afterwards. Cloud9 says, but the problem is ALM used antagonistically BLM. BLM is a little oppressive. Okay, so if I'm understanding you, Cloud9, BLM, are you saying that BLM, the organization, is a little oppressive? I feel like I probably need to make a statement here that may make some of you uncomfortable and others not, but it's truth, so you can go and research it. That Black Lives Matter, the organization, is not actually a proponent of the Black community. And if you guys have read what they are about, they really, I mean, they've cleaned up their website and stuff, but they're really not about people. They're really more about havoc, and they're a Marxist organization, which their founders and their directors have stated that they're trained Marxists, and we can certainly go on to talk about what Marxism is. But I think the really important part of us as like communities, like here, this is a live streaming community, or an opportunity for us to reach out to other people, and like I said, and to get some input from other people without judging, because I think judgment is where we get ourselves in trouble. Thinking my perspective is right and yours is wrong gets people feeling very defensive and kind of put up your dukes, instead of, hey, let's talk about it. Let's see where we're at. Welcome. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. But the problem is, okay, wait, high five. Thank you, Joanne, for the high five. Stop as and wait, stop. By the way, if you use capitals between each word when you do a hashtag, it's easier for people to read. I'm not sure what that one says. Stop Aslan hate. Stop Aslan hate. I don't know what that means, Candy. Michael said, all lives matter, even the unborn. Yes, absolutely. I believe all lives matter, including the unborn. But BLM is a chance for a public outcry about America's racist past. Okay, so Clout9, I believe that BLM does create a public outcry for about America's racist past. I really do. But and forgive me if this doesn't come out right, because like I said, I really do want to have a conversation here. Are we doing ourselves an injustice by sweeping back, and hear the whole question before you guys come out, by sweeping back and pulling the old oppression forward and holding on to it like a, I want to say a blanket, but it's really not. It's more like a shield to defend why we're angry or why we hate? Or should we continue making sure that the past doesn't repeat itself. Because I mean, I would love to know. Okay, I want you to put a 2 in the chat box if you believe that when I'm going to talk about the United States for a moment first, because I'm more familiar with our statistics and what's going on here. Put a 2 in the chat box if you believe that the U.S. is less racist now than it was 50 years ago, right? So put a 2 in the chat box if you believe it was less racist now than it was 50 years ago, because I think that's what we should be continuing to work on, right? Is progress. Like Mike had said, in my school, I'm still friends. I can think of people that I chat with, on a regular basis that were in high school, like Ruben and Ruben, who's Hispanic, and um, I'm trying to think of all the people that we converse with, and Mike, from our class, and my friend Kim Bates, who's black, that I worked at Anaheim Stadium with when I was 15, and I worked there for 10 years, and like people that we're conversing all the time, like we never looked at the color of people's skin. Like I didn't say, oh, I have a black friend, I have a white friend, I have a Asian friend. I have a friend. I got my friends, and so again, in my world, we'll call it a bubble for the moment, I didn't see a lot. I didn't see racism. I saw people bullying other people, and anybody here, Mike can certainly attest to this, that I was the defender of the weak. I was really tall. I'm 6 foot tall now, and I was really tall in school, and I would always come to the rescue of someone who's getting picked on, because that's who I was, right? So I did see bullying. So we know that those kind of things happen, and we have to continue teaching people to stand up for what is right, and to not accept the construct of what people are saying. That I don't think we have to fight as black and white. I think if someone is treating somebody poorly, then we need to step up, stand out, and speak. We got to say something, and we have to defend them, even when it's not convenient. It's not convenient for us to do that. Let's see. Okay, hopefully I answered that. All lives matter. Thank you, St. Candy. Interesting topic here. Listening, right? Retta Moore's like, whoa, girl, you picked yourself quite a topic to be working on. And by the way, guys, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you're not over here on Haps, let me drop the link again. I'd love for you guys to actually come over to Haps, and that way you can actually see the rest of the conversation that's going on. I don't know if it's going to let me. You can see the conversation that's going on all the platforms, and subscribe using that link that I just sent there. Let's see. Follow my great friend. Oh, thank you so much, Candy. I appreciate that. I've known Vicky for 6 years. Yes, right. Can you guys believe it's been that long? It's so cool. Hear the song All Lives Matter by Tom McDonald. Watch the reviews on YouTube from Black YouTubers after they hear this song. We are all in agreement. Excellent. And my friends that are Black have most of them agree. I mean, there's very few. I know a couple that are very I'm gonna call them on the liberal side based on their political preferences. They tend to lean a little bit more towards the um I don't want to I don't know what word to use, because I almost want to say martyrdom, because it's like a badge of honor that we've been repressed, and I don't think that's what we're looking for either. I think sometimes that helps. Oh, stop Asian hate. Is that what it said, Candy? Okay. If you guys, Candy is from Japan, and there has been some, there's definitely been some Asian. Oh, I don't know. I would say there's there's some Asian things. Hey, Yasmin, welcome to the broadcast. Yasin, there's been some Asian stuff going on, but I don't believe what happened here. Just so we're clear, because the Stop Asian Hate that's been going on here in the U.S. is based on somebody who shot up a massage parlor. But I don't know what you guys are hearing outside the US, because the media here tends to really censor a lot of things, and it's not very conducive to us having open conversations. But the man, it was a happy ending massage parlor, and he had a sex addiction. It had nothing to do with him being Asian. It happened to be that he was having trouble with his own sex addiction, and was taking it out on them, just like alcoholics sometimes take it out on a bartender or the bar patrons. It wasn't about that. Now, I know there has been some other unfortunate circumstances because of China and the virus coming from China, and then people start creating their own narratives, just like they did at 9/11 for people that were of a different descent, right? And so we want to make sure that we're not categorizing people. Don't pigeonhole people into categories. Martin Luther King said it the best, of course, where we want to we want people to, based on the content of their character, right? Not the color of their skin. Like I could care less what color skin you are. I mean, I'm looking here and I know I can see that we do have Hispanic and we have Asian and we have Black and we have white, and I see an Irish person. Hey, Shy Blues, welcome to the broadcast. So we have a whole lot of different people here. So we have a variety of people that are here, and we can all communicate and have a conversation. We don't have to treat each other without respect. I mean, we need to respect people's opinions. And so I would love to know if any of you know, and I mean like specifically know, why the term all lives matter. Like, is there a specific thing? What is it that it triggers? Because I've read articles, different things, and everybody has different ones. Hey, Vanessa, welcome. Um, Everybody has a different version of why all lives matter. The phrase is somehow insulting or somehow offensive, and like it makes them angry. Does it actually make anybody here angry? Do you think, oh my gosh, anyone who says that, does it actually make your blood boil? And if it does, I want to know why. Because I really want to understand. And like I said, I can tell you, my friends and the people that I know, we want to know why is this a trigger? And if it's a trigger, like for instance, and of course I won't say the word, but the N word, because it's never been offensive to me, right? It doesn't bother me. When someone called my son a cracker, it bothered him, but he says, "Mom," he was young and he's like, "Mom, why can they call me a cracker if I can't call them the N word?" Not that he wants to call him the N word, but trying to understand taboo words. And I said, "Son, does it bother you when they call you cracker?" And he goes, "Well, no, but I know it, they're not saying it to be nice." So he recognizes that it's an insult, even if it physically doesn't insult him. And I said, "Well, there were generations of people that were really oppressed, and that word was a term that meant that they had no value and that they were more like property, and they weren't good enough. They weren't." And if you guys know me, one of my books was called Evict the Bully in Your Head, and it was talked about not enough syndrome. You're not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not whatever enough. And I said, and so that came across to be such an insult that it's a trigger word for sure now, and there's really no reason for us to use it. And he said, "Well, why do they call each other that? If it's such a bad word, why do they say it to each other?" And I honestly don't know the answer to that, but I also don't know why some girls call each other the B word. Like I don't do that either. So it's part of how you bring things up. Let me go back through here and read these. I know Miss Vicky from Blab and Periscope. Vanessa, so good to see you. And by the way, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button no matter what channel you're on, and then come on over here to Haps with me as well, and follow me here as well so you guys can see, because I've been in the schnitzel box for quite a while on the other platforms for my conservative viewpoints and the hashtags I use. And so at least we have a voice over here that gives me the ability to communicate with you guys. Yassine, everyone follow Vicky. What an amazing author, speaker, and consultant. Oh, thank you so much. Mwah, you're awesome, Yassine. Shy Blues, thanks for subscribing. Oh, Vicky, I came over from Periscope. Hey, Shy Blues, thanks for coming over. Vanessa's Native American. Welcome, Vanessa. I sub to you too. Thank you. I will sub back you guys when I get off the broadcast. Richard Scott, subscribe too. Thanks for being here, Richard. Hello from the Bronx. Welcome. The word trigger triggers a lot of people. Joanne, are you being funny or being serious? Tell me. And Joanne, can you share what nationality you are, Joanne? Michael, welcome. I'm in your bubble. There you go. Thanks, Michael. Mex American, Native American, Scottish, Irish American. That's all of you. You got quite the mix there, girl. You go, girl. And someone said, in my opinion, the reason why they use the N word with each other is it feels empowering. But in reality, in my opinion, I tell all my friends that are Black, you have given in to the supremacist that created the word. That's an interesting perspective where Yeah, that's an interesting perspective, and I think that if we ponder that a minute, that it is true. Because just like people can call you a loser, right? They can call you a loser or a fool or a creep or whatever, and we start accepting those words as we're kids, and in my book, "Evict the Bully in Your Head," I always say, that the bullies, they're taking up your headspace, right? They were living rent-free up there. They are having a party at your place, and they invite all their friends, they've anger and resentment and judgment, they all sit in there and just kind of talk to you and tell you stories that aren't true. And we need the headspace heroes in there, right? We need integrity and courage and compassion. We need the headspace heroes to take over. The purpose of life is life. Okay, Ted, that's very deep. Thank you so much for sharing that. Richard Scott said, "All lives matter," may trigger some persons because if they feel like an abused and or ignored minority group, then I suppose they may feel as though their heritage isn't being individually recognized. That's a pretty good way of describing that. I think that was well thought out, and so that conceptually makes sense. Um, because if you do have that, like I said, when I think of people, right? So I did a broadcast once that said, can you really be colorblind? And it was about, because somebody said to me, "Do you have, how many black friends do you have?" And I was like, I don't know. I mean, and all of a sudden now I'm trying to go through my mind and think of the color of people's skin. And I found that offensive. I mean, I have a lot of black friends, but that, like I said, you want me to separate them by the color of their skin? Like, how many Asian friends do you have? How many, who cares? I mean, honestly, that's how I felt like, who cares if I like everybody individually? Maybe I hadn't come in contact with someone, so we weren't friends yet. But here in social media, I have friends all over the world. I have clients in 8 countries. So, we have differences and we have opportunities to expand those things, but we also have to be cognizant of everybody else's filter, the way they grew up, the way they've been instructed, the what they understand, and what the media feeds, because the media, whatever the media creates as a frenzy, is what we all start kind of absorbing. That was Michael again. Thank you. I'm mixed, but get harassed for my light skin. So are you saying you're mixed? Oh, because wait, Shy Blues, you said you're Indian. No, wait, you were Native American Indian, Asian, and Black? I can't remember. I could scroll up, but so you get harassed. Help me understand what harassed means. Like, you're getting harassed from dark-skinned people because you're not dark enough, or you're getting harassed from light-skinned people about being darker? Help me understand that one. Michael says, "I don't like when people go ghetto." Okay, whether you're white or black, we all need to remember that there is trash in every race. Okay, so I think the term ghetto might trigger people, right? And then for you, it might be an innocent term, just like the term white trash can be very offensive to people. The term ghetto can be very offensive too. And I think we do need to be careful about saying things that sound judgmental, because if you grew up in a very poor white neighborhood, people might have called you white trash, right? I mean, this happens. We've seen people and they say, "Oh, she's just white trash." Maybe she's not refined. Maybe she doesn't understand how to hold a fork or her pencil or her attitude or the way she walks, or whatever, or either one. But I think we have to be really careful about using terms like that. Not that you're meaning to be offensive at all, for sure, Mike, but you know it's like we have to be aware, because that could be triggers. Passion takes us to places. Okay, Ted, I agree. Welcome from Bangor. Welcome, Sid. Welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you being here. Taste of rage. Uh, Hi. Welcome to the broadcast. Like getting someone in my face calling me white bee and threatening me. You know what, Shy Blues? That is like so totally unacceptable. Um, like, I don't even understand. I don't get it. I don't understand that at all. Why? Now, is it a black person that was doing this? Is this another Native American doing this because you're mixed race? Like, who's doing that? I'm totally interested in knowing. Michael says my daughter can go ghetto in zero point 0.2 seconds. Again, Mike, I don't you're welcome to say whatever you want, but I'm thinking that the people in here that don't know you are probably maybe not going to take that in the best way. And I think, I call it rounding the edges. You're allowed to be who you are. But if we know something might trigger someone, like I know a friend of mine and he might use that term. He's black and he might use that term and it's not offensive because it's part of his culture, right? And the some of the people that he hung out with or different things. But if I said it as a middle class American female, white female, it might not come off the same way. So I just kind of, I do get what you're saying. I know what the expression means, but again, that's why we're kind of talking about things that might offend other people, right? It's a gift sometimes. I have no clue how I got here, but this is interesting. Well, thank you, Taste of Rage. I appreciate you being here. If you haven't subscribed yet, do a girl a solid. Hit the subscribe button. And while you're here, like I said, you can always unsubscribe later if you don't like it. And we are on the HAPS app. If you guys haven't used it yet, I did drop the link in there a couple times for you guys to come on over here. And it gives you an opportunity to see, like I said, an environment where all the platforms are coming together. We're multicasting on 9 platforms right now, including Facebook, Facebook groups, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch. I don't remember which other ones, but anyway, it tells you at the top of the screen how many platforms you're on. I'm not going to sugarcoat all my words and cancel this, cancel that because it offends this person or that. I am me, clearest. If you know me, you know where I'm coming from. Harold, if you don't know me, just ask. Okay. All right. Well, again, totally totally understand if you want to keep it that way, but encourage you to be conscientious. Like I said, for me, I'm not going to sugarcoat things in terms of, um, the other things I say. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I think I'm going to talk about a little bit about Dr. Seuss and what's going on there and the cancel culture and how that works. But you hang in there, do whatever you want, Michael. Shibu says, I'd rather not say, but I get harassed more than any of my friends who are more olive toned and darker. It even happens for my own people. That really breaks my heart. And so having a conversation like this, I think gives us an opportunity to say, think to ourselves, why? Why are people judging us based on the color of their skin? Now, I know I've been judged before for being white. People assume, some people, not all people, right? Some people that have that filter assume if you're white from California, you must be stuck up, right? And so they start treating you that way. And I've noticed, and again from the book Evict the Bully in Your Head, I've noticed that people use it as a shield. They try and take away the edge because they don't know who they are. Now, I want you guys to kind of absorb this for a minute because I think it's really important. Happy, confident people don't pick on other people. They don't troll other people. They don't harass other people. They just be. They're just who they are. They accept themselves for who they are. They want to grow because they want to grow, not because someone else has told them they're not enough. And so that when we see people that are up in someone's face calling you names, that's their own insecurity talking, right? And again, put a 3 in the chat box if you guys have read my book Evict the Bully in Your Head. Put a 3 in the chat box, and I'm going to read a few more comments, but put a 3. It's right. Whoops. Wait, no, it's there. Hold on. Right there, that book right there, the purple cover. That's one of them. Yeah, I wrote 12 books in 12 months in 2019, and that one is actually one of my favorites. But there is a chapter in there where I'm talking about the bullies, and I'm talking about the twins. There's a pair of twin brothers, right? One is confidence, and one is cockiness. And cockiness and confidence are twins. They look the same, right? But when you get closer, it's the attitude, right? Cockiness has to prove himself. Confidence just is. And happy, confident people don't put other people down. So when we see people all up in your face and your business and calling you names and acting like, they're going to go at you, it's from their own insecurity. It's their own mechanism that's telling them I'm going to attack them before they attack me, because when my barrier's down and people can see who I really am, it's too vulnerable. And if I'm vulnerable, then people can hurt me. So I'd rather go at them first, right? And so put a 4 in the chat box if that made sense to you. Happy, confident people don't do that. And people use it as a defense mechanism to try and protect themselves because there's no real reason unless you've done something to them, like told them that they were white trash, or told them that they were not worthy, or acted like you were, all that in a bag of chips. Then you can see where they might react, right? Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna go to sleep now. Have a good night. Okay, Taste of Rage. Well, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully you subscribed, and we'll see you again sometime. Vanessa said it's the same for her, Shy Blues, because of her light skin. I'm also mixed with Native American, French, Scottish. Okay, so you've been experiencing that too because of the lighter skin. So a lot of black people are saying because they have black skin that they're being judged by the white people, but you guys are saying that you're lighter than some because you're mixed in your race. And so the darker skinned people are harassing you for your lighter skin. Is that right? Is that what I'm understanding right? My native folks have been the most supportive. I'm so glad to hear that you have a support system. And I know you guys may not know me that well. I mean, Shy Blues, you've been watching my broadcast for a long time. So I'm here. I mean, I may not be with you physically, but that's what this community is for people to recognize the value of other people. It has nothing to do, like, I don't see your skin tone. I can't see your color, and I don't care. I don't care what color you are. I care if it hurts you. I care if something's going on and you are being oppressed or people are treating you poorly, but I don't care what people the color of their skin are. That's why when somebody asks me how many black friends you have, like, trying to, like, I don't know, it take you a while. You have to go think about your friends, and now you're thinking of your friends as a color instead of as a person, and I just find it, horrible. Vanessa said, "I've been bullied all my life and still to this day get bullied." Well, Vanessa, I am so sorry to hear that. And if you would like a digital copy of my book, Evict the Bully in Your Head, and it might help you, and you too, Shy Blues, please feel free to message me. I think you guys both can message me on Facebook. If you even drop your info in here, I can have my assistant go in afterwards and we can tag you for an e version of Evict the Bully in Your Head to try and help you through that, because that's horrible, right? It's just, I don't even know. Like I said, if you ask, like Mike, for instance, Mike knows I always was protecting people in school. Always. I've been doing it since I was a kid, always protecting people that were treated poorly. Vicky, you know me, I have found that my opinion is judged when I am on social media, but I live in a predominantly Black Mexican area and I'm never misunderstood in person. Okay, that's good. I don't get offended when people call me white boy, wedo, rojo, etc. People can clearly see who I am when I start speaking. I understand that, Mike, and like I said, I have no problem with that. I'm only trying to provide clarity that in a social platform that people might misunderstand, but it's totally okay. You can do what you want. Like I said, you haven't offended me or anyone else. I just want people to recognize who you are too, and I don't think you mean that. I mean, I don't think you mean to be offensive in any way. And that's why I was trying to clarify. Shy Blue says, it makes me sad too, Vicky. The latest happened at Portillo's restaurant in Moreno Valley. The restaurant didn't do anything about what? It was an employee on their way to work in the. Are you kidding me? So you're pretty close to me, girlfriend. So I'm happy to go out and I'm happy to go out with my 6 foot tall redheadedness and go support you anywhere you want, girlfriend. Um, and let's see, Shy Blues, his dad watched it all go down and tried to threaten me too. What in the world? See, that has to come from culture. And I'm just gonna say that. A dad and a son, let me tell you right now, if my son stepped out of line, my sons are 24 and 18. My son steps out of line and treats somebody bad, I will smack him. I will absolutely smack him. So there is no way I'm going to support my son being rude or disrespectful to anyone or threatening them. So that is culture from the internal family. When your mom or your dad or your uncle or your aunts or the people that you're around, when you grow up like that, that becomes a culture of your family, and that's horrific. That is just horrific. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Girls, you guys are breaking my heart. You are breaking my heart. Ho equals go. I got that. Shy Blues, please look me up on Facebook. Yeah, you guys connect. Like I said, we need to community needs to stick together. And again, if you guys are not following, make sure you give me a follow. Follow on, whatever platform you like, but definitely come over to the Haps app because again, I've gotten myself in the schnitzel box so many times. I don't know how long I'll be on those other platforms because literally I get booted off on a regular basis. Giovanna, I think it said, you subscribed. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Girl, I'm right down the hill from, yeah, you are. You have to come up here. It's beautiful up here. Hello from Vancouver. Welcome from, is it Giovanna? Am I saying your name right? Welcome to the broadcast. Oh, heck yeah. My son would have never, right? That's what I'm saying. I always told my kids are, my 18-year-old is 6'6" and my 24-year-old is 6'4". And I always told them, no matter how big you are, your mama can always take you down. And I don't care if I embarrass you from other people. You want to act like a schmuck, I will treat you like one. Let's see. I would have smacked my kids, right? There's no way. But again, when you get Jeeves, welcome to the broadcast. Appreciate you being here. That there's no way that parents that that aren't racist, right? That don't believe that their race is better or don't believe that other races are trying to get them or other skin colors are trying to get them. If you raise your kids that way, then they're going to grow up that way. If you don't raise your kids that way, then they're a lot less likely. There are a lot of other influences, so it certainly can still happen. But we need to make sure that we're aware of that and that we're trying to make the best of our situation. And that's why this, my show is step up, stand out, and speak. We need to say something. And I would have gone into the management of that restaurant myself. And I know when we're the one being attacked, it's really hard to try and defend ourselves with other people kind of insisting that they take us seriously. That's why it's really great to have someone else in your community that says, hey, wait a minute, that is totally unacceptable. And do you know what just happened? And you need to do something. You need to, and they need to be responsible. Step up, stand out, and speak. If we will be proactive and refuse to accept unacceptable behavior, we can make a change. And it might be a small change, right? And that's what the ripple effect is all about. We start with a small change that affects me standing up for, or let's talk with you two, Shy Blues and Vanessa, start, communicating and standing up for each other. And I stand up for them. And then someone else says, hey, I'm afraid, but I just saw something in this parking lot and that was not okay. And say, hey, that's not okay. That's not okay. And as a matter of fact, in Evict the Bully in Your Head, we talk about that. We also talk about how that someone has to be, right? The power of one. Someone needs to step up, stand out, and speak. You must say something. Shaibu says, because Vicky, no one wants to hear about a light skinned person getting racially profiled. It doesn't matter, Shaibu. I get what you're saying. And then they might treat you poorly, right? But it is what it is. And if you don't tell anyone, then we can't blame anyone that the boundaries don't change, right? And they may not want to hear. They may not want to hear that it's happening because they might want to make fun of you. And they may not want to hear it's happening because it's inconvenient. They may not want to hear it's happening, but it doesn't matter. I mean, let's look at this. Let's look at another politically charged situation really quick and talk about, Mr. Cuomo. Now, you guys know I've never been a fan of Cuomo. I think he and his brother are two of the most arrogant buffoons I have ever seen. And writing a book, and Lord help us, did you guys see the diagram thing he drew and made a map out of and he was selling as a poster? I mean, talk about somebody who's so freaking full of himself. I mean, it's nuts, right? But as we look at those things, nobody wanted to tell anyone that he was being inappropriate with them. Right? Why? Because no one wants to hear, another, she said, me too kind of story. No one wants to be the one that narcs off the boss, because he's the governor of the freaking, of New York, and people are touting him as this, oh, the superstar when he's a buffoon anyway. Now of course everything's unraveling because somebody felt guilty and actually, coughed up the information that he was hiding the stats, the people on his team. But nobody wants to be the first one. No one wants to be the one to say, hey, I'm still going to tell you. I know it's inconvenient for you, but what just happened in your parking lot is totally unacceptable. Right? It is. And now you can't say you didn't know. You may not do anything about it, but you're going to look me in the eyes right now. And guess what? You know. And now you are responsible for the way those people are acting if they work here or the way the thing. So you may not have to freak out and go all cray cray on them and start screaming, you're going to do something or I'm going to sue you. But you can say, I want to speak to the manager. I need you to know what just happened with these gentlemen here. And if you want to call them in and we can have a conversation while you're here with us, we can do that. You want to call Papa in, or it was your patrons, whatever it is, they're responsible to try and keep their patrons safe, right? That's part of being a business owner. And if they don't want to keep you safe or they don't care, then obviously you're not going to patronize that place anymore. And if you're only talking to the manager, then you should ask to speak to the owner, because we always need to give the person that's really in charge the opportunity to fix something. Because let's face it, we've all probably dealt with managers, or maybe you've had employees that didn't want to, or didn't have the courage to actually handle a situation. And that doesn't mean the business is bad. It doesn't mean they won't do anything. It means that we need to let the people that are in charge know if their people aren't handling things. And then if they don't want to handle it, bye, Felicia. I am not going to reward you with my money. I'm not going to reward your mediocrity or your absolute lack of integrity with my resources. So it's our job to step up, stand out, and speak, whether they want to hear us or not, whether they want to make fun of us or not. We have to say, I'm doing this for the right reason, not because I'm angry. I mean, we might be angry too, but I'm not doing it because I'm angry or because I want an outcome. I'm doing it because it's right. And then I will accept what comes as an outcome, and then I will deal with it. Hopefully that made sense. Can you guys put a 5 in the chat box if that made sense? Hello from Pittsburgh. Melanie Weiser in the house. Welcome, girl. Mike says, you're right. I understand what you mean by being conscientious. I just kind of forget about it on my social. Agreed. Need to be more careful. Thanks, Mike. It seems like someone somewhere will always get offended by something you've said, ridiculous sometimes on so many levels. I agree, Mike. But there's a difference between trying to, what I call, round the edges and change yourself. Like, I'm not going to change myself, but I'll round the edges a little. If I think something I said might really bother someone, I'll round them a little bit and try and fix that. Let me tell you this. I refused to let him play the white card on me. Good for you. By the time he was done with me, he didn't know what my ethnicities were. I stood my ground. He almost hit me. Well, you know what? Again, girlfriend, he almost hit you. Then, I would, it's kind of like, look, big man, you want to try and take me down? Why don't we go inside and let's talk to some other people? You feel so big and bold because I imagine that he's taller than you, right? I mean, I don't know how tall you are, but I'm sorry that he almost hit you, and you do need to step up, stand out, and speak, girl. Do not allow that to go through. Southbridge Town, welcome to the broadcast, Vanessa, or welcome from Southbridge. Where is Southbridge Town? Isn't that in South Africa? Or where is that? That must be somewhere else, because my friend was, maybe it's Southbridge Bay in South Africa or something. Anyway, let me know. Corporate didn't care. Well, then you should tell us all who that is. If their corporate office didn't care and they don't care, let us know who it is so we don't spend our money there. Michael says it seems like people that get upset at restaurants and other settings don't know how to articulate their words to complain in the proper way for there to be a change. Are you talking about Shy Blues, or are you talking about the guy in the parking lot that for some reason thought it was okay to badger a woman, or badger an ethnicity, or badger someone who's short, or badger someone at all? I mean, I I just, like I said, I don't get it. Melanie said 5. Thanks, girl. Well, everyone, I have to go. It's bedtime for me. Vanessa, it was such a pleasure having you here. I hope you subscribed, and I hope you'll stay connected. Typically, I'm on every night at 6 p.m. Pacific, so I appreciate you being here. You can contact me on Facebook with your name, Chai Blues. There, you two connect. You're in Massachusetts. Oh, my family was from Massachusetts. My mom and dad both were. Portillo's. It's Portillo. Is it Portillo's, the hot dog slash place, like it's in Chicago, that one, or Los Portillos, which is the Mexican restaurant? Because there's two, right? I think there's two of them. I'm talking about the majority of the YouTube scenarios that happen on a regular basis. Gotcha. Okay, so as we're coming back to this, so those of you who are just joining the broadcast, thanks for being here. If you drop your name in the chat, love to say hello to you. I know there's a couple hundred people in here right now, but there's a conversation on some. Maybe you're a little bit worried. This is a safe space. We don't allow people to badger other people, and we all have dignity and respect here. I had just finished dinner and was walking out, and he was walking in. Oh, the hot dog place. Okay, that's, like I said, I don't get it. But again, cockiness and confidence, right? Cockiness was obviously who that guy was, who's hanging around in his headspace, the bully of cockiness. And that's, cockiness is really just a cover for insecurity. People that, like I said, happy, confident people do not act like that. They just don't. I mean, that they just don't. Even when you're rude, like, if someone came by me and bumped me with their shoulder, I wouldn't spin around and go after them, right? I would say, "Excuse me," and, like, kind of like giving them the opportunity to recognize that that was rude what they just did. And if they copped an attitude with me, then I would try and calmly call them out on it and say, "You know what? You don't have to be if you're having a bad day, you don't need to be rude and disrespectful to me. That was rude what you did. If you feel comfortable with it, that's on you, but that was wrong." And we don't have to go, "Look, you son of a blah, 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 blah. That's not," we don't have to do that. When we let our anger get in there, the bully of anger get in there and overthrow us, then we cannot articulate ourselves well. But when I find most of the time when people are rude or disrespectful, not in the way what Shy Blues is talking about, I don't know exactly how this altercation occurred, but when people are, next, and they got this nasty attitude, I'll usually look at them and say, "I'm sorry, are you having a bad day?" And you'll be surprised. Some people, like I remember this one girl, she stopped, she looked at me, and she started to cry. And she said that her dog died and she's got all this stuff going on and her mom was, I mean, it's like all of a sudden, like all the stress that she was holding that wall up with just came down. And she said, "I'm so sorry." And she started to cry but the thing is that when we ask people not with an attitude, not with an expectation that we're trying to put them in their place and go, "Excuse me, are you having a bad day?" That doesn't show you care, right? When you say, "I'm sorry, are you having a bad day?" When you actually care about the answer, then that is put you in the right place. And then people have the opportunity to recognize their own behavior and change. Is it going to happen every time? No. But if you don't have an expectation of the outcome, then you don't have to worry about how they react. You're allowed to remember, do not accept unacceptable behavior, even from yourself. And let that sink in a little bit. And that, again, is in the book Evict the Bully in Your Head. And I think you need to remember that. Do not accept unacceptable behavior, not from anybody else, but not from yourself either. You need to treat other people with dignity and respect, even if you don't feel like it, because that's how you grow. That's how you become a better person. Francis Shirley in the house. Welcome, girlfriend. Good to see you. Mike says, "Vic, you didn't repeat the whole story of what happened in Moreno Valley. The comment from the person from the other social site. I would seriously like to know what happened because I live close by there too." Shy Blues, would you care to give the rest of the story or not? It's totally up to you. If you want to, then pop it in the chat. Mike lives close to there and he would like to know what happened. And amen. Thank you so much, Francis. So, guys, we are here. This is my second broadcast here on HAPS. This is our new broadcasting platform. This is where we're going to be. So, if you have not already subscribed, hopefully you will. I'd love to know how you feel like the broadcast is going through. Using this as like the catalyst to push it out versus our previous platform. I really appreciate that. Good to see you too. I'm sorry I'm late. Oh, Francis, I'm just glad you made it, my friend. I really appreciate you being here. And so, today's topic is, why is it taboo to say all lives matter? And we talked about that some about why is it that there's some oppression that some people have felt in the past, and they feel like that it's not recognizing their plight. And although I do remember, I mean, I do recognize that. I'm wondering if those of you who feel that way could help us come up with a way to find the value there and recognize that, like, for me, when you say Black Lives Matter, right, which I 100% agree with, that Black Lives Matter, I mean, do then I have to say to my Asian friends, Asian lives matter? I feel like all of a sudden I'm segregating again, and I don't want to segregate. I want to attack a problem. If there's a problem, if you're being oppressed, if something's literally going on, let's address the problem and let's fix it. Let's start working on a fix. I recognize that we can't stop other people from being racist if they are, right. I can't stop it, but we can call it out, not an attack, but recognize by supporting someone. Like if you were walking in a group of people and there was a Black person, let's say, that's walking by themselves, and some person yells across the parking lot, "Hey, N-word," or says something to them. I know, and I'm not telling you guys to do anything. I'm gonna just tell you what I would do, and I want you to think about it for a minute. right? What you would want to happen if somebody was calling you out while you're alone. If one person stands up for us, if one person defends us, if one person just tells people to stop, it makes a difference. It gives us hope and it gives us courage to move forward when otherwise we might feel like we are not good enough, not smart enough, not strong enough, not pretty enough, not whatever enough. That's called not enough syndrome, right? And the world's been infected with it. And we need to evict those bullies from our head and recognize you are enough just the way you are. You do not need to change. You don't need to change things you can't change, like your color or your race. But you don't need to change things you can change. You should change those because you want to, not because someone else thinks you're not enough. But walking in a group and someone yelled something derogatory at another person, I'd say, "Hey, that's not okay." And saying, like, just look at them like, "What is your problem? Like, why do you do that?" And somebody might go, "Oh, that's just my friend. That's what we call each other, right?" If somebody said, "Hey, B word," I would think that's an insult, but I know girls call their friends that. I don't get it, but okay, girlfriends, if you guys want to do that, just don't call me that because I'm not going to get in on that game. I don't like it. But just say something. Just or if you don't have enough courage to say something, move quicker and walk with that person so they don't feel alone. And say, oh, don't just ignore, and just say to that person, you know what, just ignore him. Who knows what's going on? He must be having a bad day. There's things we can do to support other people, whether it's because of race or size or whatever. It doesn't matter. People matter. Color doesn't matter. Like Martin Luther King said, it's the content of their character. Who are the people? Who are they inside? Do they care about other people? Do they hate other people? Are they angry and always creating havoc? Or are they just trying to do the best they can? That's what we need to do. And we can again step up, stand out, and speak. Coming through pretty good. Thank you, Francis. Appreciate that. Shaibu says it wasn't really about me. I believe he was mad at his dad and took it out on me. That happens, and that's cool that you can recognize that. It's usually never about you. It's about you. It's usually never about you. It's about you. I think you mean it's about them. It's usually someone taking aggressive or bad mood out on you. Absolutely, honey. I believe that that's absolutely right, but it's still okay to call him out. And if his dad was that, if his dad was doing that too, saying, I mean, I can see myself saying, you should be ashamed of yourself if that's what you're teaching your son. That's not okay, and you need to really think about that. Francis says, let's not separate with naming lives, but let's all support all lives. I agree, all lives matter. Each one reach one, so we are not ever alone. Amen to that, right? And again, that's what this broadcast about. That's what I'm about. I do call it like I see it, but I do try and be what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's certainly not politically correct. I am not a politically correct girl. And I have to tell you, we'll have a conversation on this too. I don't care if you're trans or what your orientation is. You're welcome to have those orientations. And if I know you in person and we're talking and you want me to refer to you as a different pronoun, I will do my best to respect your wishes. I will not change the dictionary, and change everything I've learned my entire life to try and fit someone else's narrative and mold. I'm not taking out grandma and grandpa. I'm not going to say that. I mean, I did this broadcast. If you guys didn't see it, you can check it on my Facebook page or on my YouTube channel, about the 64 genders. I couldn't even pronounce some of those words. And I'm a pretty articulate girl as an author. I certainly have a pretty good vocabulary. I couldn't even pronounce them, like womenek, womex. I don't, people, build a bridge and get over yourselves, okay? Seriously. I'm not changing everything. If you as a person, and come on, guys, when we talked about that, the pangender thing, where you can literally be all 64 genders at once, simultaneously, or in increments, like you can roll through them every 10 minutes. Come on, that's confusion, people. That's just pure confusion. Someone on the broadcast had said, I think it was you, Ed, if you're still here. Someone on the broadcast said that sounds like multiple personality syndrome. And it does, because you can't be 64 genders at one time. I'm sorry, people. That's crazy cray. Okay. We have to call it out. But if you have a pronoun, if I can pronounce it and you would like me to use it, I will try. I may mess up. Don't judge me for it. It will not be to try and ridicule you, but I'm not using them on the world. I'm not doing it because that's you're asking me to rewrite my own history and my own life, and you want me to not call my own child a boy, and my son I'm not supposed to call him my son anymore. I mean, guys, that it's just going too far, and I think we have to really call that out too. Let's see. The professor subscribed. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you on the broadcast. Francis says I watched that one and I was totally lost. It was crazy, wasn't it, Francis? Melanie says the Sybil of genders. Exactly, Melanie. And again, I'm not making fun of people, but if you're really experiencing that kind of that is gender dysphoria. If you can't figure out what gender you are and it literally is fluid and it's changing constantly, or it can be 64 at once. I mean, when we were reading the descriptions, I was thinking, come on, who wrote this? I mean, this had to be a joke because it doesn't even make sense. That part didn't make sense. 64 genders was multiple personalities for sure. Exactly. Okay. So anybody else have any questions here? I have had such a great time with you guys today. Hopefully you guys are subscribed to the broadcast. I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific. I think we're going to be talking about cancel culture again and Dr. Seuss. I am going to be doing, for those of you who have children, I am going to be doing some reading of Dr. Seuss tales that I'm going to put up on my website, because since Dr. Seuss has been canceled, I want to give kids the opportunity to hear some fun stories that we can, until they get taken down on all the social platforms, right? But I'll save them and have a recording I can send out privately via email, because this is crazy. Like, I mean, we'll talk about Cardi B maybe tomorrow or the next day too. Because come on, guys, yeah, we can talk about Cardi B tomorrow. Did you guys before I hang up? Before I end the broadcast, can you put a 7 in the chat box if you saw Cardi B at the Grammys? I didn't watch the Grammys. I watched the thing later. I almost threw up, people. I'm telling you right now, like, you want to tell me that you want to cancel Dr. Seuss because he's ruining our children, and yet 12-year-old girls watch Cardi B every day and they want to see the Grammys because it's supposed to be family friendly television. We can do soft porn during a prime time for families. But Dr. Seuss is way out of control. I mean, come on, people. Like, honestly, I don't even know who's coming up with these things, but this is nuts. And when I watch all the things that are being canceled, I'm just, come on. I mean, I can't even take it seriously. It's obviously some people that aren't trying to to work on culture. They're not trying to create community. They're not actually trying to make changes of things that they feel offended by. They're trying to make changes on anything and everything they think they can get away with, and it's pathetic. It's just pathetic. I didn't watch Don't Waste My Time for those crazy. I don't either. Were the Grammys on, Melanie? I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Joanne says she refuses to watch that, right? I mean, it's just like I said, it's when I saw the broadcast, because everybody's going crazy afterwards, and I saw it, I thought, no way. Did you guys see the outfit she was wearing? Now, again, I'll talk about this tomorrow, but I wanted you guys to understand this. The outfit she wore, like, you know how they have netting that's body toned. She took a body toned skin and then put jewels on it in all of her female places to simulate only the female places. So from a distance, it 100% looks like she was completely naked. And then even when you go up close, all it is bling over those little parts. It was nasty. It was just nasty. That's all I got to tell you. Nasty with a capital N. And the fact that that was okay has the things have just gone off the deep end. If you don't know your gender, get psychological help. You know what? And I have to kind of agree with that. And I don't mean to be offended. I don't mean to offend anyone, but I think, I mean, as a Christian, and this probably is going to make some of you upset too. And I don't mean to be, I'm happy to talk about it, but there are two genders, right? Male and female. God talked about it in the Bible. Now, I do recognize that there's one situation where, you have both male and female parts. But the rest of it has morphed into something that's trying to change all of our culture, and I think we got to be very, very careful about what's happening. Not trying to offend people, but there's a lot of confusion going on. Oh Lord, please don't let them cancel Miss Piggy and Kermit. I know, right? Well, Miss Kermit's already been canceled or partially canceled. Miss Piggy was very abusive. So if we're gonna go for abusers, Miss Piggy's gotta go. Let's see. I didn't even know who Cardi B was, or whatever her name is. I think she's just okay. That and if you didn't, this is the girl that interviewed. If you guys did not see this, you want to laugh. She interviewed Bernie Sanders. Watch that interview. Watch the interview. A presidential candidate. She interviewed a president. I mean, I don't even know where to go with that. I just don't even know where to go with it. So I didn't miss anything on the ground. I didn't watch them either. Just that. Guys, you are an amazing audience. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to drop my link one more time for those of you who are watching on other platforms. I think it's going through the platforms. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's only going into you guys here on the Haps thing. I have to go back. I have to go check my other stuff out. But it's Haps. HAPPS.TV/invite/ @ Vicky Fitch. You guys are able to send, I don't know what we call them, awards and stuff to people. And you're also able to earn coins in order to do that and send them to other people so you can help support the broadcasters. So get yourself some free coins by signing up there. Oh Lord, I can't even watch Bernie. He's just a joke, but he's good for that. Well, watch that interview. Just look it up. It's funny. It's just plain old funny. But guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Thanks for commenting. Thank you again for those replay viewers. If you guys haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Come over to Haps and check it out. Whatever platform you're on, make sure you're following us all over. You can also go to my website, which is VickyFitch.com. VICKIF as in Frank, ITCH.com. Sign up for our newsletter. Let's get connected. Got lots of good stuff for you. Anyway, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want to remind you, like I always do, to dream it,